our performance targets, looking at the milestones that we achieved in the last 2 years, but also setting new targets for the next 1 year. And in our discussion, we observed very critical achievements for the ministry, and one of the key achievements is that Kenya was able to conclude the Kenya-EU Economic Partnership Agreement, which now has secured a free market access to 27 countries, valued at 18 trillion euros in the European export market. So basically, we observed that we have concluded successfully the EU-Kenya APA, which is now at implementation. We have already begun sensitization. We had a meeting at Strathmore last 2 weeks to sensitize the stakeholders on this particular key instrument of market access. The second achievement that we have all agreed is that within the 2-year period, Kenya was able to increase exports from 871 billion in 2022 to 1 trillion in 2024, and we registered an increase of 15% on our exports. The other key achievement is that we've been able now to roll out implementation of 19 county aggregation and industrial parks. These county aggregation and industrial parks are very key to rural industrialization, and they are also key to job creation and manufacturing, especially value addition at the local level. At the same period, we have also noted that our foreign direct investment intelligence ranked actually Kenya, the first country in Africa with the greatest investment momentum, and this is a key achievement that we would like to bring on board. The other key achievement is that we were able to increase foreign direct investment by 98%. We moved from $759 million in 2022 to now $1.5 million in 2023, while domestic direct investment increased by 26% from 380 billion Kenya shillings in 2022 to 480 billion Kenya shillings in 2023. In the same 2-year period, we've been able to operationalize 2 public special economic zones. You are aware that Naivasha Special Economic Zone is very key to our investment promotion, and that has now been operationalized. And also Dongokundu, which was stuck, but we have not now been able to address all the challenges, and we have now 97 investors who are in the pipeline, and admission and initiation at the site is going on. So basically, those are the key areas that we wanted to profile from this meeting, and I want to thank the Deputy Head of Public Service and the Secretary to Cabinet for providing leadership on this matter. On matters compliance, the ministry was able to onboard 98% services on the e-citizen platform, and therefore we continue to digitize our services. So I think briefly that is what we wanted to share. Maybe if our colleagues have 1 or 2, and then we can close.
Read on the expected outputs and output indicators on the basis of which the performance of the ministry will be evaluated as at 30th June 2025. The rationale of this is that we want to institutionalize performance management within the entire public service, and an integral component of that performance management framework is performance contracting, where government ministries, departments and agencies commit themselves beforehand to certain minimum standards of performance, both qualitatively and quantitatively, and on the basis of which they are held to account at the end of the activity period. with respect to commitments that the Ministry of Trade and Investment has in the performance contract for the current year, in the space of textiles and apparel value chain, the ministry has committed to enhance value addition in the textile and apparel subsector, to increase production of locally manufactured fabrics and garments, and also increase exports in the sector. And in this regard, the ministry commits to develop a cotton, textile and apparels policy. In the space of focusing on our own homegrown products, the ministry has committed to promote the implementation of local content through the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya policy. And in this regard, the ministry will coordinate the implementation of the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya initiative by updating and publishing the procurement master roll of 2021, coordinating and tracking procurement of uniforms and shoes for the disciplined forces from local manufacturers, coordinating and tracking procurement of health products and technology by KEMSA from local manufacturers. We also need to enhance e-commerce trade in all aspects, and in this regard, the ministry has committed to fully operationalize the e-commerce strategy, which has already been developed. To operationalize it, the ministry will develop and submit the e-commerce policy to the cabinet, and also develop the digital services export strategy. The ministry has also committed to revitalize the Kenya National Trading Corporation. You are aware that it is a sleeping giant. Kenyans have got a sentimental attachment to KNTC, and we need a turnaround strategy around KNTC, and the ministry has committed to do this. The ministry has also committed to develop flagship export processing zones, and in order to nurture the small and medium enterprise exporters with the majority of local Kenyans shareholding in horticulture, food processing, textile, apparel, commercial crafts, BPOs and ICT sectors, the ministry has committed to complete the development and operationalization of 6 flagship export processing zone projects, as well as the construction of 19 KIPes. The ministry also has committed to institute 10 business reforms to improve the business climate and business environment, develop county license procedures regulations, and also de-risk value chains through concessional loans and co-investments, and review and recast investor journey structure so that we have got an enabling environment for foreign direct capital inflow. Those are the commitments of the ministry, and it's on the basis of the same that the ministry will be held to account as at 30th June 2025, so that we institutionalize management by results, because ordinarily people will not give you what you expect, but what you expect, and what gets measured gets done.
Trade and industry, and as part of that discussion, we looked at resolutions that have been made by the executive in various sittings. We also looked at cabinet decisions and the level of implementation, and I'm pleased to report that the level of discharge and implementation is satisfactory, and we are happy the decisions are on track. We also looked at e-citizen, because this is the one ministry that offers a lot of services, not just to natural persons, but also to corporate persons, people doing business in this country. And we identified that the ministry has mapped 942 services, and out of the 942, 928 are online. And this is what has generated a compliance rate of 98%. We look forward, with this very high rate of compliance, to moving to the next level, where we will be finding out whether we can undertake premium services, fast-track services for corporates and individuals wanting to engage in the Kenyan ecosystem. This has been a very pleasant exercise, and we look forward to continuing to report on the various commitments that we achieve. Thank you.